Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at chapter 16-2, and that'd be patterns and graphing. And patterns and graphing is just another way to kind of visualize information. So on the top, the example that they have is Ron is making $5 an hour doing something. And what that means is for every hour he works, he gets another $5. So before his shift starts, let's say he's mowing lawns. Before his shift starts, he's worked 0 hours, so he's earned $0. After the first hour, he's earned 5. After a second hour, he earned 10. After a third hour, he earned 15. You can kind of see that in this graph as well, that after hour 1, he's earned 5. After hour 2, he earned 10. After 3, he earned 15. After 4, he earned 20. What that does is that translates into that little guy. And that guy is going to tell us how much money is earned after so many hours, after X hours. And this equation will ring true regardless of the amount of hours he worked. So let's say he worked 3 hours. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. So why would that equal 15? Because after 3 hours, he's earned $15. Now let's say he worked 100 hours over a span of a couple weeks. Well, 5 times 100 is $500. So y would equal 500, x would equal 100. And it's just kind of like plugging in the numbers to figure out how much he has made. So again, this is kind of the code for how much money he's made over those specific hours. On the bottom, they have another example. It says, graph the points from the table below to show the cost of buying harmonicas. Let x equal the number of harmonicas and let y equal the cost of each harmonica. Harmonicas are available online for $3 each, but there's also a cost of $2 for shipping. So the $2 for shipping happens regardless of how many harmonicas you buy. You buy 1 harmonica, you buy 10 million harmonicas. Either way, it's going to cost you $2 for shipping. Now, each harmonica costs $3. So x is going to be the amount of harmonicas that you're buying. X times 3. Again, when that number is right next to that variable, it means it's multiplication. They don't put 3 times x. They just said 3x. And we have to know that 3x means 3 times x. So let's say they bought 5 harmonicas. Well, you go 3 times 5 equals 15, plus that 2 for shipping is $17. And that equation kind of shows you how much money you're going to spend on harmonicas, and it can kind of change for the amount of harmonicas that you have bought. So on the bottom it says, well, we have to make a graph. We have to make a graph for the chart shown. So if you bought 1 harmonica, so we're going to make our graph, and we're going to just label it on the x-axis 1, 2, and 3. And the y-axis, we're just going to go all up to 12 by 2s. Not by 1, just because otherwise that graph would be really high. So 1 harmonica, 3 times 1 plus 2 is going to be $5. Because 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So if we bought 0 harmonicas, it would be 0. Now if we bought 2 harmonicas, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Now, if we had 3 harmonicas, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So 3 up to 11 looks like that. And really, you're going to see a straight line going like this if you ignore this little part. You're going to see a straight line going like that forever. Because if it follows this pattern, it's just always going to kind of go up on that trajectory. It's always going to be, if you did 6 times, if you bought 6 harmonicas, 6 times 3 is 18, plus 2 is 20. So if you had 6 to be over here, and then 20 would be up there somewhere. So it kind of keeps on following that path. So what we got going for you guys is, you guys are going to be doing the next page. It's going to be the same type of thing. You're going to be creating data tables and plot points on the graph. If you can find room on that page, that's awesome. If you can't, you might have to do it on another piece of paper. For questions 1 and 2, it says create a data table from the points plotted on the graph. That means you're just creating that table that kind of shows when x is 1, y equals 3, x is 4, y equals 10. You're kind of just creating that little table. For question 3, you have to graph. And then 4 and 5, you have to graph as well. So like I said, I don't know if you'll be able to find enough room on this page, so you might have to do it on a separate page. If you have any questions, let me know.